How will real estate be affected by the recent OPEC announcement of slashing oil production by 2 million barrels, which is increasing our gas prices? Go ahead and start us off, RJ.
Yeah, I remember the days back when I worked at Pizza Hut and I really wasn't making a lot of money. And that was right when gas prices really shot up for the first time in my lifetime. And the impact that it had on me financially was astronomical. I mean, it essentially put me in the poorhouse. And I think that's what's going to happen here is this is going to impact cost of food, the cost of clothing, the cost of household goods. And that's going to impact the lowest income families first, aka that's our first time home buyers. And I think that's where we're going to see this hurt the real estate market and our economy is that the people that otherwise would be able to afford buying a house for the first time are not going to be able to do it because everything is exponentially going to become more expensive.
All right, CJ, weigh in. What are your thoughts on OPEC?
Yeah, I mean, I think RJ's in line. At the end of the day, gas drives our entire economy. Everything comes from manufacturing, transportation, things of this nature. And it's just trickle down economics when businesses, especially small businesses, have to hand these costs down into the workforce by raising prices on goods and services. To RJ's point, when he used to hustle pizzas and not get tips, dropping pizzas off at people's houses, people aren't going to be able to afford to live, man. I mean, we're getting into this extreme danger zone where you've had people for years that argue that they don't want minimum wage raised, they don't want wages raised, but now people are getting to this gap in living where they can't afford it. And so what's going to start to happen is the economy and real estate as a whole, I think, will drop as a result as these things continue to hit the market and hit the economy, because people don't have discretionary income. People don't have income to be able to pay for rising rent prices, rising home prices.
Apparently the Lord's out here doing my job right now. All right, we'll see you in a minute, CJ. All right, Steve, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, I think going back to what I already said a moment ago, like when price of gas goes up, everything else goes up, right? Labor has to use gas, right? Lumber, all materials, everything just becomes more expensive. And what's always unfortunate is that everything gets more expensive when gas prices go up, but nothing gets cheaper when gas prices go down. So it just continually just gets more expensive. Everything just gets more expensive over time. So with all that being said, right, the cost of building a house is just going to increase. The cost of remodeling a house is just going to increase. So all that's going to happen is it's going to increase the value of the home, not because the house is more valuable, but just because everything is more expensive. By nature, the houses will be more expensive. It's going to affect affordability. It's going to affect the what people can qualify for. But I don't think it's going to cause the price of houses going to go down. I think it's going to cause the value of the prices of the homes to go up.
Good point. It's conditioning. All right, Leon, what are your thoughts?
I agree with everything that they said, but I do have a comment that's a little bit different because we've been talking about this, for months, of everything going up and how it affects first-time home buyers for sure. But my perspective from working with 300 real estate investors across the United States, I think may be a little bit different here because I'm starting to think, and the question was foreseeable future, which I translate to this year, later this year, maybe first of next year. Last year, when we saw the market shift, because we're trying to get inflation down, it remains high. Interest rates are between 6 and 8% on 30-year fixed. And Q3 and Q4 did slow down for real estate investors across the U.S. last year. But everyone in our community right now is saying how much buyers have come back in Q1 of this year. So I'm from a foreseeable future, I'm not seeing that impact that we've been talking about on this show for the last year now, specifically on how it affects real estate. I just haven't seen. Doesn't mean, CJ and I have talked about this a lot, doesn't mean that it won't affect it down the line in the next couple of years. But right now, I'm not seeing any immediate impacts as buyers are back to buying in real estate because inventory is still low, is still moving at a very high volume.